There comes a time in every young pig's life where he has to admit to himself who he truly is and what his true preferences are. So you go your entire life hiding it from your parents, your friends, but eventually it's time to come out and be yourself, which is why I'm saying that I am... There's nothing that people love more than cleverly coordinated card magic. Cleverly coordinated card magic. So today I got a hot trick for you guys that you will enjoy. So the deck is mixed, and you tell the spectator to take out a chunk of cards, not just one card. This isn't a pick a card trick. Well, it is, but it's a pick a lot of cards. So they take out a whole bunch of cards here, and you tell them to go ahead and mix up that half as best they can, and they mix it up, and you tell them, you know what, we'll add a couple more cards here just to make everything a little bit fair. So they mix this up, and they put a face up on the table, and you go, that's great. I don't want to touch those, but go ahead, sir, and touch any card you want here. So the spectator happens to touch any card they want from this half. In this case, it's the Three of Hearts. Any reason why you picked that card, sir? Maybe it's you didn't touch the Three of Hearts. Maybe the Three of Hearts touched you. So we're gonna cut this card into this little half here, and it's about the middle of this half here. So I'll tell you what, we're actually going to use this half, the one that you shuffled and mixed, as a camera of sorts. So believe it or not, if we just aim this at the deck and just give it a little bit of a you notice that it printed out one card here in the middle, and you mixed and shuffled this, correct? So there's it printed out your card, the Three of Hearts, a miracle by any Catholic standards here. The Three of Hearts, that's the card you picked, sir? That's phenomenal. I'll tell you what, we'll try this again here, but this time we're going to be using a different card, because how else would this card trick reach a crescendo? So we'll just mix these up here. Go ahead and touch another card. Let's say they picked the King of Diamonds. You go, great choice. Was it because the King of Diamonds touched you? All right then, so we're gonna lose this King of Diamonds into the deck. I'll make sure that the King is well lost, because I want to make sure that we're using the camera here to take the picture here of the King, and we go, all right, and that should be enough to print a card here. But if you notice, we already had a printed card. We already had a card printed here, but you see that it changes to the So Paul Harris is a very clever magician, and if he was in front of me right now, ooh boy, I'd do some things to him. I'd suck his cock. I'd suck his oh boy, yeah, I'm pretty sure he'd suck my cock with that face. But it's one of my favorite book series for many reasons, and it's obvious that this one has been one that I've used and read to massive extent. But in these books, he has a very clever trick called Lulu's Cards, or something Lulu's Adventure, or whatever the fuck weird name he came up with under the heavy influence of marijuana. But the trick had its downfalls. It was a little bit convoluted, so I kind of changed up the method to suit my standards. But I definitely recommend you go and check his books out if you want to give him a stiffy, which apart from an erection is also a move in Tony Hawk Pro Skater. So here's the setup for the trick. You don't have a setup. That's the setup. So now all you do is you have the deck mix, and you have the spectator take out a chunk of cards, about 15 cards. They take out a chunk, they mix it up in their hands, and while they're mixing it up, you're going to do the secret move here. In the original, he did a double lift, followed by sliding this card to the middle, maintaining a break, and turning everything over, which puts you in a position somewhat of where you need to be. But I decided, hey, that's convoluted as fuck. So I changed it up a little bit by just doing a brow reversal. So what you're going to do here is you're going to lift up the back at about less than 10 cards. and you're going to keep a break underneath those cards. And while the spectator is mixing up their little packet here, you're going to do the brow reversal. So you have a pinky break there. You have a pinky break. And what you're going to do is you're going to transfer it to a thumb break briefly with this stack of cards. You're going to grab half of the bottom cards and put them on top, maintaining the break, and then grab the rest of the cards and put them on top. So if you are as clever, coordinated of a cardician as you seem to be, you would recognize that what this does is that it puts half the deck face up and it puts those cards face down in the back, ready to be rocked. So you tell the spectator to put this half or this little packet face up on the table, which is going to be fairly important for a little add-on move you're going to do later on, but it needs to be face up. So now the spectator has shuffled this half, which surreptitiously verifies that there's no face down card here in this deck. So they mix that up, and now you have the spectator touch any card they want. So they touch, let's say, the Queen of Clubs. Again, very careful not to spread too much so that they say, hey, sir, you have a bunch of face down cards in the back. What is that? Is that a setup for a card trick? Wow, I caught you, you magical cunt. You don't want them to say that. So you take the Queen of Clubs, you make a comment of it, you take it on top, and now what you're going to do is a double undercut of the Queen of Clubs to the back of the deck. So how we do that? We get a break, our old friend a break here underneath the Queen of Clubs, and we're going to double undercut this to the back of the stack. So we're going to grab a fat stack here as to not cut into our face down cards and put that on top, and then we grab the rest of the cards and put them on top. So what that's done is that it's just moved that Queen of Clubs from the face to the back under the context of giving the deck a fair cut. But really, guess what? It's here in the back, face down. So now the situation is you have a face down Queen of Clubs, followed by a couple face up cards, followed by the rest of the deck. Now we're going to employ our friend, the natural break. The natural break is by letting your thumb just touch the side of the cards here and letting the cards fall naturally. Because there's a double back situation, there's going to be a natural break that we're going to take advantage of, much like our uncle did in the game closet. So we're going to drop that and we're going to establish a little bit of a pinky break right between the halves. If you want and you don't feel safe trusting the natural break because the deck isn't beveled enough, then what you could do is, under the pretext of saying, oh boy, that card is really lost in the deck, you're going to riffle up the back here until you see the first two face down cards, just like that. And that's where you put your little pinky in, like your uncle did in the game closet. So now we're going to pick up this half here. Remember, we have a pinky break with this half, this situation here. And we're going to pick up this half and just briefly kiss it on this stack of the deck. And as we kiss it, we're going to steal those cards off into this half. Now, this could be done under the context of putting these cards on a table if you want to continue with the pattern of using these cards as a sort of a camera or whatever, you know, your pattern point is. But the point is that you're stealing those cards underneath these as you're putting these cards aside. Now, the reason for that is because, see what you've done is that you've added this stack to the bottom of this half. So when you spread these cards, it seems like this card is in the middle of the stack. You see the hot points here. Paul Harris, you really deserve that sucking. But now you've noticed that their card is face down in the middle of the stack because of your clever ruse here. So of course there's more cards added to the stack, but that's a discrepancy that spectators will not notice because they are not hopefully savants. So you turn this card over and you show that it's in fact the card that they picked, which should be a miracle nevertheless. And this gives you a little bit of a brief time to do a little bit of a move here that doesn't make a lot of sense, but after the reaction, they're gonna just forget about it, much like you do about your uncle in the game closet. So here we're gonna get a break above that face down card here and transfer it to the thumb here in the right hand. We're gonna do this as we pick up this half, and we're gonna pretty much do the exact opposite of what we just did. So we're gonna deposit those cards underneath the break on top of the deck as we peel off this top card and put it in the back of the deck here. So that's done essentially nothing. We're just putting it in the back, but that gives us a motivation to pick up these cards and have them contact the left hand, which guess what? Puts us in the same situation as before. So we could repeat the trick and the spectators think that there's a face down card here. So it's like it's what the priests call a cunt punch. So now when we turn this over, all we got to do is ditch this back card over here. You could do it in whatever way you want. If you want, you could do this very clever Harry Lorraine move, which I hope he doesn't decide to complain on, because he complains a lot. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to do a version of that halo cut here. We're going to get a pinky break right here with this back card. We're going to swing the cards and drag that bottom card as we do the swing cut, which puts this queen of clubs in the middle of the stack here. We're going to just cut off a little bit more packets and put this half in the left hand right on top. So what that's done is that you just ditched that back card and we're the same exact situation as before. Now you spread the cards and have the spectator touch any other card they want. Let's say they touch this one, and you're going to repeat the exact same actions you did as before. So we're going to do a double undercut to the back. We're going to turn this over. We're going to use the pattern point of having a camera. If you want, you could establish a natural break, or you could do as before, riffling up. If you are a pussy, then we're going to steal it in the same context as before. Take the snapshot, and then this time spread the deck and show that there's still a face down card. But what? It's changed to the card they just picked. So that's a double whammy. That is a hot variation of a Paul Harris trick. I'm sure to leave the link in the description below as to where you could buy the Art of Astonishment series. It's a great series, a lot of underrated stuff there. You're sure to be able to find something in there that will surely be repackaged and sold as an instant download on an illusionist video somewhere down the line. But I hope you enjoyed that variation. Patreon, PigCake.me, and I'm gonna go figure out different ways to use a straw to suck up. See you again when I see you again. 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 When I see you again.